Hey, what's up, family? Welcome to a new video. In this video, I want to talk about my top 5 books that changed my life completely. So let's get to it. All right, y'all. So let's start off with book number 1, and that is Rich Dad Poor Dad. So this is actually not only Rich Dad Poor Dad. So Robert Kiyosaki got a series, his Rich Dad series, where it's 3 books in one. But the book I'm talking about is Rich Dad Poor Dad. And if you are into real estate or looking to get into real estate investing, Rich Dad Poor Dad is probably the first book most real estate investors pick up that change their mindset about finances, about how they actually making money every month. And yo, if you're not a reader and you want to get into real estate, that probably should be your first book for sure. So Rich Dad Poor Dad, this is you see how beat up this is. I had this for a long time, and I like to read this at least once a year. So yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad. All right, y'all. So for book number 2 is definitely Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. This is a mindset book. One of my favorite mindset books, and it talks about how not allowing the devil to get the best of you. And remember, man, the devil, it starts all in here. It breaks down everything when it comes to the devil. And the reason I love this book because it has one of the chapters where Napoleon Hill is having an interview with the actual devil, and the devil was giving the answers on why he do the things he do and how he's able to take over the world. This book right here, an absolute must read, 100%, man. So this book number 2. So for book number 3 is actually a newer book for me, and I read it for the first time this year, and it's actually for a woman. However, when I read it, I'm married, right? So it made me understand a lot more about my wife, and not just my wife, right? Men can take a lot from this. It's called We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers. And this shot up to the top of my list because, again, especially if you are a brown or black woman, and again, you don't have to be a brown or black woman. You can be any woman. You can be a man. This book right here tells you exactly why you need and should be a millionaire. And this is like raw and uncut. She keeps it all the way real. And I'm surprised that this is even in my top 5 because, again, usually them older books is the ones that hit home. But this one right here is definitely top 5 for sure. All right, so for book number 3, and also this is also a newer book. Man, these authors these days, they going crazy and they change. And look how small this book is. It's called U Squared. It's only 38 pages. Super powerful book. And this book, it made me think differently in a lot of ways. And you can read this literally in one sitting, under an hour. And what this book really is about is taking quantum leaps. So like, I'm not that great at explaining, but let me try to explain this. So let's say that you are a real estate investor, for instance, right? And you have one rental property, right? So the next obvious goal is probably to go get another rental property or maybe a duplex or something like that. But with this book, it tells you to take quantum leaps. There's nothing in there's no law that says we got to go from one rental property to 2, right? So instead of going from one rental property to 2, this book basically tells you go from one rental property to a 30-unit building, right? Not saying that it says that specifically, but that's how it makes you think. Taking them quantum leaps and just making you just think bigger almost. And I'm missing something. I only read it once. I'm probably going to read it again real soon. But after I read this, my thinking was definitely next level. The author name is Price Pritchett. I think that's how you say it. But top 5 for me. And it might change, but this right here, game changer. And my absolute favorite book of all time at this moment is The Science of Getting Rich. This is also a newer book of me. I mean, this book had been written a while ago, but I just read this for the first time late last year. I read it again for the second time this year. And I actually read it in my mastermind coaching calls with my class. This book right here breaks down exactly how to get rich. Getting rich is a science. You don't have to have a bunch of money. You don't have to come from money, no matter where you at in life, no matter what background you come from. This book breaks down exactly how to get rich. A must read. All of these books are a must read. So I do have a couple honorable mentions. Actually, man, it's so many books out there that's great. But I'm talking about books that I have in my actual library. And the honorable mention is the 4-Hour Work Week. I read this for the first time back in like 2013, 14, something like that. And this basically breaks down how to outsource everything so that you only have to work 4 hours a week. This book, what I will say is the first time I read this book, I wasn't quite ready yet. Like, this one of those books where you definitely will gain something from reading it for the first time, no matter where you at in life. But if you down to your last dollar and you trying to just hustle up some money, this is probably not the best book to read. But once you feel like you working so much, you making money, but you straighten a lot of time for money, then it's time to definitely read this book. Great book right here. The next book I want to talk about, and I just finished this actually for the first time, The Miracle Morning. This was actually recommended by one of my students, and we read this as a group as well. And this is the thing, man. I'm big on my mornings. If my mornings start off shitty, 9 times out of 10, my day gonna end up shitty. So I'm big on taking control of my morning because that sets the tone for the rest of the day. And this book gives you basically a guideline on how you can control your morning, what you should do. I definitely highly recommend this book. When you wake up in the morning, especially for those who got a job and you be ready to beat somebody up soon as you go into work and all that. You gotta change those habits and the way you go about your mornings. But this is definitely a must read. And my last honorable mention is the 12-Week Year. And this book basically, it makes you super productive in a shorter amount of time. So most of us, we set up our goals for we set up our yearly goals, right? And we usually don't. Let's say like if we got a goal to make $100,000 in a year, and let's say we in a month of November and we only at 60,000, right? This book allows you to stop measuring things on a yearly scale, but more so a quarterly scale. So everything that you can do in 1 year, it basically breaks down on how you can get that done in 1 quarter, in 3 months. So I highly recommend this book as well. All these books, man. And there's so many other books out there, but I hope this helps. These are some of my favorite books, and for the most part, I read all these books at least once a year. I don't just really read one book and then throw it away or never read it again, because as I get older and more wiser, I gain different meanings from each book that I actually read in the past. So hope that helps. I'll see y'all on the next video.